Oh, Canada, oh, Canada, how you suck some booty cheeks.
Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Murders, Mysteries, and More. My name is Kaylee.
And my name is Desi.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell next to the subscribe button to turn on post notifications. Before we get into this case, we always encourage those who have useful information to any unsolved case, please report it to your local police and sheriff department.
As a woman, we are angry for our Indigenous sisters. Thousands of Indigenous women vanished or are brutally murdered in both Canada and the United States. It is not fair that many of them are brushed aside, and nothing ever gets solved in regards to Indigenous women. If you would like to learn about the MMIW movement, which stands for Murdered Missing Indigenous Women, go to nativehope.org.
Also, a shout out to YouTuber Kendall Ray, who covers these cases. With that being said, we are dipping into the tragic disappearance/death of Chelsea Poorman. Chelsea Poorman was born on October 12, 1995 in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Her parents are Sheila Poorman and Mike Keirnan. She's a part of the Kawackatoose First Nation. She has two sisters. Their names are Paige and Diamond. Chelsea had a very difficult childhood. From an early age, she was I can't even.
God damn it. She was plopped.
She was placed in foster care, and the reason why she was placed in foster care is her mother had cancer and was suffering from addiction. However, later on, her mother gained custody back of her children because she sobered up, got a job, and completed her schooling. There is limited information on her father, but I do want to note that he was very affected by her disappearance/death, like any father would be.
Yeah, any parent, of course. But Chelsea's personality, she was very kind. She went above and beyond to help others in need. Her mother even mentions that Chelsea used to bring hot coffee to neighbors during extremely cold winters, which nobody does that because, let's face it, we're all selfish ass motherfuckers. So she was very kind for that. And she was not afraid to stand up to bullies and not let other kids get picked on. She did bring home numerous stray animals. Oh, that would be me if I could.
That'd be me too. I'd have a whole zoo.
Yeah, I'd be like my grandmother. And she was also very organized. For example, Chelsea kept to-do lists for every day. She had a bright future, and her dreams and goals were that she wanted to become a musician and a fashion designer. She's very passionate about the arts, especially anything music related.
Chelsea overcame many difficult challenges throughout her entire life. A great example of this is in 2014, Chelsea was walking innocently home when a big truck crashed into her, causing significant physical injuries. The injuries that she suffered were 2 broken legs, a fractured skull, and TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. And as you can imagine, with her having TBI, she would need extensive rehab. Doctors were amazed that she survived surgery, and they were even more amazed by how fully she still lived her life. Even I'm honestly amazed how much stuff she was able to do despite her injuries. And her goals did shift, and instead she now wanted to become a paramedic due to her life being saved by one.
But she had 2 metal rods, one to each leg, and her arm was permanently stuck bent at a 90-degree angle. Oh my god, can you imagine, just living like that?
Right, how could you, function?
Yeah, no. Chelsea had to use a cane to walk and couldn't travel very far distances, of course. Despite all this, the same year of her accident, Chelsea graduated from Bishop Murray High School, and she received a Perseverance Award due to her being able to overcome many challenges in her life, including a terrible accident. She did struggle with her mental health, of course, like most of us do, and in 2018, Chelsea was assaulted, which gave her PTSD. Chelsea reached for both alcohol and drugs in order to numb the pain for both her physical and her mental pain.
July 14th, 2020, Chelsea moved to Vancouver to be with her mother and sister Paige. She wanted to get her life back on track. And Vancouver, unlike America, is very well known for its essential mental health services. And this would be a great opportunity for Chelsea to receive the help that she needed. The doctor placed her on Suboxone. If you guys don't know what Suboxone is, it's an effective FDA-approved drug which is used to treat opioid addiction. And this would significantly help with any withdrawal symptoms that she would have. She was doing so well that she opened her own bank account and she was in the process of getting new ID cards. Chelsea even got accepted into film school, but unfortunately she never got to go.
The events, of course, were Sunday, September 6, 2020. Her and her sister Paige were supposed to meet up at a pub called Alibi Room. That's a weird name for a pub, but okay.
That is.
After they had dinner, they decided to get drinks at a bar at the Belmont Hotel. In order to get there, more than likely they would have had to use an Uber, especially since she couldn't walk very far. Belmont Hotel is located on a Granville Street in a very shady area called Entertainment District. A patrol team in Granville area conducted a survey, and they found that 90% of people felt unsafe in this area due to it being very sketchy.
Yeah, that definitely sounds sketch.
Yeah.
After they got drinks, they spent about 20 minutes walking to an apartment for a party. The reason why it took so long, like we mentioned many times before, is that Chelsea just had her physical health condition and that made it very difficult for her to walk. And this apartment was only 2 blocks away. It was located at the cross streets between Granville and Davie, and by the time they got there it was midnight. You may ask, whose apartment was it? So it belonged to one of Paige's friends. And not too long after, Chelsea left. Some sources do believe that Chelsea left because her sister and her got in an argument. But there's also other sources that say she decided to leave on her own. We don't really know why she left.
After Paige realized Chelsea left, she quickly called her, and like any other sister would be, she was very worried. A phone call took place at 12:57 a.m., and this would be the last time anyone would hear from her. Chelsea said she wanted to be left alone and said she was with her new boyfriend. What is very strange is some sources say Chelsea was living with a boyfriend at the time. However, it cannot be confirmed if this new boyfriend she was referring to was her current one. No one has also came forward as far as if they were her new boyfriend or not.
Yeah, I wonder who it could be.
Dun 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 dun.
We have no idea.
Nope.
Monday, September 7th, her parents tried to reach out to her, but they couldn't reach her. And this was very odd and not like her, because typically she would answer her phone. September 8th, 2020, her parents officially filed a missing persons report. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the Vancouver police waited a solid 10 days to publicly report her disappearance. 10 days. And the reason why they waited so long is they said if she was at risk, this could potentially put her in more danger because they would be calling attention to her disappearance. I think that is just ridiculous and it makes no sense.
Nope.
And then September 18th, 2020, they put out a public notice for her disappearance. Her appearance is that she is 5'3", she weighs around 120 pounds, she has shoulder-length brown hair with brown eyes, her arm is permanently bent at 90 degrees, and the clothing that she was last seen wearing was a gray sweater, a black lace crop top, black jeans, knee-high boots, and she was carrying a beige purse.
Sheila pushed for police to take her disappearance more seriously, especially considering her health conditions. Chelsea was also a very vulnerable person, but police did not take her seriously. The whole investigation was an absolute fuck show, And cell phone records show that her phone last pinged in the area known as East Hastings Street, but this ping could have included other areas that were several miles long. November 2020, 3 months after her disappearance, they put her case file into a major crime section. Vancouver police claim they looked into phone records, bank records, interviewed businesses, and viewed surveillance footage. The Poormans believe the police are lying sacks of shits because that's what they fucking are.
The police are stupid. They're ridiculous. They're idiots. So, like any father would be, and even me, I don't even have kids, I would be like this. Her father was very determined to bring her home. He was so determined that he traveled 18 miles to go to these businesses to see if police really asked for video footage. Every single business owner, not even one, said that the police asked for footage. Just let that sink in. That's crazy. Sadly, the only people that I feel like really did anything effective and really pushed for Chelsea to be found were her family, friends, and the Indigenous community. A march was held by her community roughly 1 year after her disappearance. This march took place from Granville, where she was last seen, to Victory Square Park. During the march, what I'm about to say, this man, this idiot, he was caught on video taking down her posters. He was a little bitch. That's all I gotta say. Like, who in their right mind is going to take down posters of a missing person? I'd be shitty. But good news. This dude, he was on video camera and he worked for a law firm and he got fired. As he should.
Fuck yeah. If she was a white woman, they wouldn't be doing this shit. But
They would not.
No, they treat everyone differently than white people, which is dumb as hell because white people are fucking retarded.
Crazy too.
Yeah, and so April 22nd, 2022, which it's been about a year now, a contractor discovered Chelsea's body in the backyard of an abandoned mansion. This mansion was about 3 miles away from where she was last seen. Her body was very decomposed due to being left outside for 18 months. And police waited 2 weeks to inform her parents upon discovering her body because they're the police and they don't make no fucking sense in this case.
They don't.
But their excuse was that they wanted to confirm it was her, even though her body still had same clothes that she was last seen wearing. Parents would have helped police identify the body sooner, and on her autopsy, since her body was found so decomposed, they don't know exactly what happened to her.
And they probably will never know.
No, because all that evidence is gone.
Yep. It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
If they had done their job, they might have found her sooner.
Right, but that's
Maybe.
the Canadian police. They don't care.
Oh, Canada, oh, Canada, how you suck some booty cheeks.
Theory number 1 is foul play. She was murdered. So Chelsea was very vulnerable due to her mental and physical health conditions. She could not walk very far. Her remains were found approximately 3 miles away with no records on how she got from the apartment party to the mansion. It would have had to been by car because there's no way she could have walked that far. And this mansion was abandoned. It had metal gates and high hedges. Chelsea would have had to have help getting into that mansion because there's no way with her arm being bent 90 degrees that she could have climbed the fence and been there. Absolutely no way. Chelsea has been assaulted before in the past, and there are men who prey on Indigenous women. A good example of this is Robert Pickton. He's a serial killer. He killed a total of 49 women. A majority of the victims were Indigenous and sex workers, and it took him killing those 49 women until he was convicted.
Jeffrey Dahmer go after some white people too, and he
True.
still didn't get caught for a very long time.
I guess that is true.
I think it's just the police are kind of dumb.
Yeah, the
Period.
police are kind of idiots there. In regards to the phone call with her sister, how she mentions this new bae of hers, we don't know who this new bae is. We don't know if it's her current boyfriend she's referring to or if it was somebody else. This new bae, they could have possibly been involved. They could have gotten her to this mansion. They could have even killed her. Part of her skull was missing and her fingers were as well, which could indicate murder. And the killer could have kept those as a souvenir.
Sick fuck.
Yeah, that is horrible. That is super sick. Like, who does that? But again,
A weird person.
But again, you know, we have the Zodiac Killer, we have Jeffrey Dahmer. There are some crazy people out there. And this was also during COVID, too. And people were going batshit insane.
Taking all the toilet paper and the paper towels. Fuck them.
Right.
Damn. Can't shit in no peace. I gotta just conserve my piece of the toilet paper. Fuck all of you.
They took so
Side
much
comment somewhere.
toilet paper, people were using leaves.
Not for real, though. Like, how y'all gonna go for the TP first? Come on, man. Go for the food.
Go for the brownies.
Food. The food. Are you damn priorities, man? Priorities. But into theory number 2, which could be an unfortunate accidental death or even suicide. Although Chelsea was receiving help for her addiction does kill and people do relapse. We cannot verify if Chelsea was drinking at the time of her disappearance, which, considering she went to a party and all that stuff as well, may not have helped her situation either.
Probably.
Because there would have been a lot of drunk people there as well.
And possibly drugs, too.
Yeah, that's how most parties, not all, most. Some are very cut, clean, and dry. You never know them. But Chelsea did suffer from severe PTSD from being assaulted, and her life changed after the car accident. This would make her more vulnerable to mental health problems, and people with PTSD are more likely to commit suicide, which is seen by a lot of veterans. Animals could have ate away at her fingers, which could explain why many were missing, and if she was lost outside due to her physical condition, she may have tried to climb gates of the mansion to try to keep herself warm. But there are many questions regarding this theory, of course. Her life was getting better. She seemed happy, which, you know, a lot of people say that before they commit suicide.
That's true.
Yep. And how could she have traveled 3 miles on foot due to her condition? Also, it would be very difficult for her to climb the mansion's fence/hedges. And there was also no suicide note, and we cannot prove she was drunk because I'm pretty sure they never did a toxicology report.
Yeah, and they really couldn't because she was just so decomposed by the time they found her body.
She was probably just made of a bunch of earthworms and roly-polies when they found her.
Into Reddit comments. The first forums called Chelsea Poorman Indigenous Women Missing from Vancouver's downtown core since September 2020. Striking-me says a quick internet search shows MMIWG is 10 times the rate compared to others. Did not know that. Are they disproportionately targeted by their own people or equally targeted by all races? Jewish Space Azaris says it's both. They're targeted at a higher rate in cross-race crimes and also targeted at a higher rate in indigenous crimes. There have also been some white serial killers found responsible for murdering many indigenous women. There is also suspected unknown serial killer murdering indigenous women along what is called the Highway of Tears.
Aww.
I didn't know about the Highway of Tears, but that, yeah, that's sad. But that does make sense. Like I mentioned, that one dude, Pigton, I mean, he was a serial killer and he did kill many indigenous women and as sex workers as well.
Nerd alert. It's shocking to me that in 2020, with all the focus on reconciliation, and specifically murdered and missing Aboriginal women and girls here in Canada, that any police officer could not only still have this attitude, but think it would be a good idea to be openly dismissive in the current political climate. The officers handling this case need to be fired or possibly charged with criminal negligence because their behavior may have cost this woman her life. Very true.
That is true. Like, they definitely did not take it very seriously.
No, they're just like, yeah, whatever. Which apparently is a very common, like, even with just women in general or any kind of murder case, you'll see, like, in Canada the first day of it, and then you'll hear nothing else afterwards.
Right, and even when we covered Bart Schuyler 411 case, he went missing in Canada. Even then, the police didn't do shit for him.
Nope, they don't care. To be honest.
Yeah.
They're like, we want our people to die off, bitch.
Right. Fuck you, Canada.
They think they're all entitled with their free healthcare and their free colleges.
No.
They just tax your ass. That's all they get you.
Yep. And then another form is called Chelsea Poorman was missing for 18 months when her body was found with fingers missing in the backyard of a mansion. Police say her death is not suspicious, so how did she die? Lilac-Aesthetic says, this is such a sad case. I've been following for a while. Her family put up hundreds of posters in that area when she was found, hoping someone would come forward with information. A man was seen walking around the neighborhood tearing down posters. I hope more information comes out. Way Up Your Butthole says, wow, what a fucking dickhead.
No way! Somebody's name is that. Get out!
That's a great name.
Way Up Your Butthole. This one is somebody who is deleted, which I sent you the link in Discord, but it said, here's the house where she was found. Note the Google Street View was taken October 2020, meaning she was almost certainly in the backyard at the time this photo was taken. That is really eerie to think about. And it's a nice-ass mansion, too. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah,
Hold
holy
up.
shit. This mansion is so
I told
nice.
you! Yeah, and they took this street view October 2020. She was back there.
That is insane.
Mm.
And, like, how did other people not know? Like, I mean, I guess it was an abandoned mansion, but it's like, you know, there's cars there. Like, how do you not know?
Maybe people just don't pay attention that well.
Or maybe they just brush it aside.
Yeah, they're like, I have other important things to do. This person named Bunsmaster 5000, love the name though. Two things I'd like to add. Local rumor is that this house was used as a party house, so maybe she was under the belief that there would be other people there. And secondly, people unfamiliar with Vancouver won't be aware that there is a lot of fentanyl being found in both street and party drugs here, and it is contributing to many overdoses. It's pretty normal for people to carry naloxone kits. You can get them from the pharmacy or for free to administer in the event of an accidental overdose. That's okay. Crazy. But now,
crazy.
Yeah, now no judgment, but a lot of folks like to party and use drugs recreationally. So can drug use be fully ruled out as a cause of death? This doesn't explain how she got there or what happened, but either way, it's likely someone else was with her. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of fentanyl killing people before. Like, it kills a lot of people.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, you don't mess with that shit.
No, it's you don't want it, especially a bad batch. Definitely don't want it.
And then Magnum 256 says, I think they're just using no foul play due to the lack of evidence of foul play. Like, if you find a dead body, you run every test you possibly can. There's no injuries, no toxins in the blood, nothing. You can't, as a police officer, then just start throwing out random guesses as to how they died without evidence, especially not implicating anyone else. Yes, I agree with you that it's suspicious in and of itself that she was found dead in the yard, but there's likely more to the story here, and we're missing tons of information. For example, this is strictly spitballing. Was there a tall fence or a tree directly near where she was found? Could she have, for example, tried to climb up something, fallen and injured herself? How disabled was she? The story indicates she was going around without a chaperone and was lucid and unable to send coherent messages to her family. Did she have any pre-existing conditions or patterns? Prone to panic attacks, prone to wandering off or getting lost, unusually clumsy, prone to self-injury, heavy drinker, heavy drug. Yeah, I mean, that's some good points there. I mean, she was getting better at that point, but again, people have relapsed before Yeah, people have relapsed before, and addiction can kill.
Very true, though.
Still, we don't know how she got there. She would have had to get help to get there. Because there's no way she could have gone 3 miles with her health condition.
Not really. Not really.
It also doesn't explain, like, how she could climb the fence. So, Chelsea Poorman, like many other Indigenous women, deserve the same coverage as any other case. Although Chelsea Poorman's case was poorly mishandled, we cannot bring her back. We hope to shed more light on missing and murdered Indigenous women cases. We do know that Chelsea touched many hearts with her amazing kindness.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Murders, Mysteries, and More. Remember to always keep your eyes open and don't forget about our Indigenous sisters.